Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Quantum Health Connection podcast. My name is Heather Crimson. I'm here with my extraordinary co host, Vanessa Baldwin. And today, Happy New Year, by the way. Today, we will be talking about all things red light therapy and sauna. So, before we get started, though, remember to give us a follow and up to a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. And please also follow us in video format on our YouTube channels at Bright Light Wellness and Enlightened Mood. So, welcome to the show.
Hey, Heather. So excited to talk about red light therapy and sauna today. I really like both of these modalities and I like to use them, particularly in wintertime, because I feel like I don't need as much red light therapy or sauna in the summertime because red light therapy is free outside from the sunlight. And people don't realize that. Like people always think they need a device to, support their health. And while I do honestly love my red light therapy devices for winter use when I can't, be sunbathing outside because it's too cold outside. In the summertime, I don't really use it too much, but it is a really, really great winter support. Both of these tools, red light therapy and sauna, are great winter support. But I always like to point out that our sun is about 50% red light therapy all year round. It's just a little bit bitter cold for me to be outside getting all that red light therapy. But it's the most predominant spectrum from the sun, and that's because it is so super healing, right? It's the most healing frequency, those red light therapy or those red light frequencies, the infrared, the far infrared, the near infrared, all of that is so healing for our bodies, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
theoretically, we could go out in the middle of winter, and I have gone out a few times this winter, but it's at least
Mhm.
55 to 60 degrees. I suppose you could do your cold therapy, a little bit of that at the same time, but I always equate getting the UV in the summer with the red and infrared as something relaxing and very, very nourishing. And when I'm out there shivering, it's like, "Nah, I don't, it's not that appealing."
It's so hard to relax, right? When you're like so cold. I mean, I've been able to get out there like when it's still and not windy. Like today, it's like brutally cold and windy. Like it's like 20s and like the wind chill, forget it, right? So
Mm,
I'm not sitting out there, right? But
mm-mm.
the when it's like still and it's like 50 or 60, I can lay out there and feel the warmth because infrared, we do perceive it as warmth. So you feel the warmth on your skin, right? And it will keep me warm and I can do it for a little while, but I mean, not nearly as much time. And the energy, right, of that is going to be probably not as strong as it is in the summer, but it's not, I just can't really do it as long in the winter. Just,
Mm-mm. No, it's definitely, and then so what happens is we're deficient. I mean, let's be honest, most Americans living in a modern lifestyle are
yes.
sunlight deficient. So we're talking not only UV, but then of course infrared and red deficient. And
And
I
I think, Heather, not to interrupt you, but I think the infrared and red is probably the most important frequency because it's the most predominant and it's always available. So if it's the most predominant and it's always available, it's probably the most important frequency for our body. And that's why there's so many benefits from it, right? Do you think that? Does that make sense? It just came to me, but like that makes sense to me.
yeah, our
Mm.
bodies are basically we're a battery, right? That's what we've heard people like Carrie say, we're a battery and we have to recharge ourselves every day. So what happens if we're not able to get some source of red infrared light is we will become low voltage. And that means our body doesn't have the necessary ingredients to perform all of its functions properly. Because what happens is your body soaks up those frequencies, the red and infrared, and your mitochondria use that in order to make exclusion zone water, which is, it's like that's the water of life, basically. If we don't have enough of that, things start to break down or bog down, and you're going to feel fatigued. Your hormones aren't going to work right. Your neurotransmitters aren't going to work right, right? You're going to be inflamed, and then everything starts to go downhill from there. So this is actually quite imperative that we find a way to supplement. And you and I are the same. Like we're homeopathically oriented. We're not real big on supplementation, but we are big on supplementing proper healthy light from really high quality red light devices because it's so vital to our health.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Infrared light helps improve our mitochondria function, like you said. Far infrared light expands our exclusion zone water, and the near infrared light supports our cellular repair. So it helps our body make that subcellular melatonin, and that thus supports our energy production. So these are really huge key things: cellular hydration and cellular energy and cellular repair. I mean, basically, that's like three major functions that it does. That I mean, our modern lives are deficient in it because of the fact that if we are indoors, number one, our light bulbs do not have infrared in it anymore, and our doors and windows are closed, right? Most people, I scan when I'm driving. I'm like, how many people have the windows open? Like almost
Oh.
nobody. It's
Mm.
like never, even on a nice, beautiful spring day when it's like really like not too hot or not too cold, nobody ever has their windows open. And unfortunately, that glass blocks it. Our windows block it. If you're wearing, of course, sunglasses, if you're wearing eyeglasses, all of these things are blocking it, and getting it into our eyes and on our skin is so important. So most of us, we're meant to be literally in and under infrared light whenever the sun is out, like all day long, but most of us are getting hardly any of it. So that's why we're so deficient in it. And we used to have incandescent bulbs. Mine aren't on right now, but I have two over here. I should have turned them on. We had get some infrared from that. And like a simple tip is like crack your window. Like I have a window cracked over here. I actually have one of my red light therapy devices on over there just on the infrared setting. So I'm getting some infrared from that just to re-put some of the infrared back in my environment because it's lacking here in indoors. It's so abundant outside, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the frequencies. We don't realize that we are energetic beings and our health is going to be determined by the kinds of frequencies that we are able to absorb and or we create our own too as well. Of course, piezoelectricity and the emotions are frequencies. So all of these combined are going to determine our current state of functionality and health in our body. So the easiest one to supplement or augment, I think, would be the red and infrared as
Mhm.
far as in right and what emulating the sunlight never is going to be the same, of course, but it's definitely super helpful. And
Yeah.
you're right, the light bulbs is a very problematic situation. So you have to seek out, we should put in the show notes some of our favorites. Like there's Chromolux. I've been
Mhm.
buying those literally for 20 years and they are just getting better. And then Dr. Cowan, she has some great stuff on that too. And Chroma is the one Dr. Cowan likes, and they have these. I want to get them, Vanessa. They're these cool, sort of like a plate shaped light that you can get. One is more orange. You can change the hue, and then one is more red. And I thought, even now sitting in here, I have the overhead lights on. I have this task lamp. I forget if I got it from Black Blue Light or where, but then I have some incandescents up here. It's still too dark, right? I can see the window. I don't have it cracked right now because it's pretty cold, but um I don't feel like getting that cold right now, to be honest. But
It's
um
okay.
I'm still getting over something. But it's so bright out and in here it's darker and we need to find a way to rectify that, right?
Yeah, we really do. I know. That's great. Awesome, the Chromelex. I don't use a brand like that. I've never tried that, and I'd love to try them. I just have some incandescents that I still have. So I just utilize those right now. I'm just utilizing the incandescents. And that gives me some infrared. And I just try to crack windows. I'm always getting in trouble for cracking windows in my house. Like literally, my husband would come home because he doesn't like the cold. And he's like, it's freezing in here. What's going on? Did you have the windows open? I'm like, no. Maybe. It's just a crack, but even a crack makes a difference because light moves in a wave in a particle, so it does flood the space. So it does make a difference. But yeah, on really cold days, I have to close it too. Like I don't leave it open all day long. On nice days, yes, I do. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So let's just talk about the best ways to get infrared light into your life in case you don't know and you're not aware. Like the number one way to get infrared light into your life that we're lacking is sunlight, right? As we're talking about, that's the best way. But also a great strategy through winter that people can use if you have access to it is a fireplace or fire, any kind of firelight. That is an amazing way to get infrared light into your life. If I want one, we don't have an indoor fireplace. I would love one, but my next house, that is a goal. I'm going to look for a house with a fireplace because it is an amazing tool for infrared light. I literally get the best sleep when I sit by my fire and I go to bed. So like in the springtime through fall, I'll sit outside, I have a fire, and we also camp a lot, and that's literally my best sleep. So I love it. And then of course there's sauna, which we're going to talk about, red light therapy, and cold therapy, which we're going to do a future episode on. We keep promising, but we will do it. But that also helps your body generate more infrared light. And then movement, like Heather mentioned before, from the piezoelectric effect is also going to help you not only generate electrons, but it's also going to help you generate some more heat and infrared light in your body. So there's lots of ways. And then, of course, there's a fever as well. If you can get a fever, which I didn't think about listing, but it just came to my mind. If you can generate a fever, that's going to make a lot of infrared light in your body, and that's going to be amazing healing.
Your
So,
body's basically turning up the heat, right? And creating a
yeah.
lot of energy that way to just get out those pathogens. So cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is cool. It is cool.
Someday I'll have a fever, Vanessa.
Me too. I'm still waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine. It's coming. Every time a client gets a fever, I'm like, oh my goodness, do you know how great this is? Like you are healing so many things in your body. I'm
Yep,
like,
sign of
yes.
health, right? We have to
So,
help people understand that it's not a bad thing, unless, of course,
oh,
it's over 104. Maybe then we can get concerned. But
yeah,
otherwise, it's all good.
yeah.
Yeah, but so you made a point earlier about our windows, and I've heard it many times. Clients say like, "Oh, well, I have the window open," or I mean, meaning the window's shut, but they have bright light coming through it, and
Oh, because the blinds
curtains are
open.
open. The blinds
Yeah.
and the curtains are open. And so therefore problem solved. And I'm like, I
I wish
really
that
wish
was the
that were
case.
true. So
Mm,
not true because it blocks the not only the UV, but a lot of the infrared, right? It blocks infrared too. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that we're living inside such a deficient, container
yeah.
that doesn't afford us the health that we need.
Unless you have quartz glass, it's blocking. That's the only way. And I really doubt that most people listening to our podcast have quartz glass. I mean, that is a goal. How about a house with all quartz glass and a beautiful fireplace? I've got a lot of goals and an outdoor kitchen. I got a lot. Start listing
Good,
and a
good.
big weeping willow with a swing. I got all kinds of goals. But anyway,
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Yes,
on a
yes, me too.
farm. No, I just,
Yes, but not
yeah.
only that, but the lights that we use, right, the LEDs and the fluorescents, they actually are dehydrating
Oh, super dude.
because, right, and they're all the blue hue dominant, and that's just really bad for us. So not good at all.
Yeah, yeah, 1,000,000%. It's super dehydrating to our cells. Nobody really thinks that blue light dominant is going to be dehydrating to our cellular energy, but it is because of the lack of the infrared, honestly, is what makes it so dehydrating. So it's just being in an indoor environment
Mhm.
with surrounded by non-native EMF, surrounded by artificial blue light, you are losing energy to that environment and you are losing cellular function and also cellular hydration. It's unfortunately but true. But the good thing is we can bring like I feel like red light therapy is a modern device for a modern problem that we have in the world, right? So we can use red light therapy or photobiomodulation to give or bring back the red and the near infrared light frequencies into our environment. And if I had to work a desk job, that's what I would do. Like if I had to work in an indoor environment all day long, that's what I would do for sure. But these specific wavelengths of light stimulate mitochondria in our cells, like we said, to make more exclusion zone water, subcellular melatonin, and again, aid in cellular hydration, cellular repair, and cellular energy production. So, I mean, they're really, really important to bring back into our environment.
hmm And yes, you
Mhm.
can accomplish a lot of that with cold exposure, but some people just are not going to do cold exposure.
Mhm.
Let's be honest, they just don't have either like it's too th challenging. They're not strong enough physically to do
Yep.
it, and they're too averse. And so you've got to find some way to help your body get the frequencies you want. So eventually I think people should work up to doing a little bit of cold exposure, but I have to be honest, if I'm not feeling good, it's the last thing that I want to do. If I feel good, then I'm all for it. And I do take a lot of cold showers because it's not quite cold enough here to go outside and get much benefit out of it. I need to be out there for like 3 hours, you know.
Yeah.
But we see our other colleagues, it's like 1 degree out. Sure, yes, you're going to be out there in shorts and a tank top. You're going to definitely get a good workout, and you're still getting red and infrared. But if for the most, like, and a lot of people too living in cities, they're going to need some kind of supplementation
Yes.
for the frequency.
Or stuck working in an indoor job all day long. That's another reason to need it. Like even if you, not even through winter, like even if you just are stuck working inside, you're a teacher, you work in an office, something like that. A red light therapy device can be a super supportive way to just get those frequencies back in your life.
Mhm, mhm.
Also, like just so people know, even if it is winter, it is kind of cool that red and near infrared can penetrate through some clothing, but not like super many layers like most of us have on. So that's the thing. We can't like be like completely bundled up, but if we have like lighter layers on, it will penetrate through.
Yep,
So
that's
that's
good.
good. Yeah, it's important to know. Yeah.
And just as a reminder, everyone, this is not medical advice where we're just talking about our experience and what the research says. And what do you know about the current thinking, Vanessa, and based on whatever the recent literature is saying about the whole biphasic response, or people who, oh my gosh, you shouldn't do more than, to start off, for example, 3 to 5 minutes of exposure to a red light device. Otherwise, you're overstimulating the mitochondria. Honestly, I'm going to tell you what I do is I do I do like 20 minutes on one side and 20 minutes on the other because I don't feel any negative effects and it always helps me sleep better and
Mhm.
I just feel better. So that's what I'm doing with and I only have one panel that's about, oh gosh, I don't know, this long and this wide. Would I like 5 or 10? Yeah, absolutely. They're expensive.
All over the house.
Yes.
Red light panel in every room.
Yeah.
So I think that you should listen to your body. That's the number one. The body is always going to, give you the best indication of what's good for it. So start if you get a device, everybody should start off slow and see how you respond because it can stimulate a little bit of detox for somebody. So say, for example, if you have not, you're very, very, very deficient in this light, you have a lot of, toxins in your cells, it's going to stimulate subcellular melatonin. So it can stimulate detox. It's going to promote exclusion zone water. What does exclusion zone water do? It removes toxins from the cell. So it can stimulate detox, but it's very gentle, very safe. It's not like a detox protocol. So that's number one. But go slow, listen to your body, and start with a couple of minutes and see how you feel. Maybe wait a day or two, see how you feel, and then keep increasing it. I know people who use red light therapy for hours and they feel good with it. So that's okay. It depends on the person, it depends on you. I am like you. I will do, quite long sessions on it. A couple, especially with the little torch that I have from Kelly Bento. I will just pick that up throughout the day and just like put it on my thyroid, put it on my liver, like put it work wherever. If I'm having like where, like, like right here
Hey, hold
underneath.
on. You cut out just a second. So you said you put on your liver, you put it.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
I think it's my internet. Uh-oh.
Uh,
Go ahead. You're fine.
I'm good. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, I had a little bit of pain like right here underneath my like shoulder here. And I just stuck that thing right there. And then I also sat in front of my bigger panel like that. And it was like, it was literally gone. So it's
Oh,
like
that's amazing.
I have pain. I do lean on that for sure. If your body's showing, I think my point is, if your body's showing sign of something that's not right and you're
Mhm.
having pain or inflammation, like go to use this as a tool. Like that's another way to use it. In fact, another client of mine who was having like a pain from like a hernia or whatnot, like in their groin region, they used it and it was feeling so much better. So it's like it can be like a really, really supportive tool. I've used it in my son's ear for ear issues. That's the torch I've used. That's like, it has that long probe. Where is that? I'll pull it out.
Oh, yeah, let's see. So people can see what it looks like. I
Yeah,
use it a lot without the probe, but I know the probe is really handy.
this attaches on.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not attaching it necessarily. Well, maybe I will attach it. Why not? Why not? I'll just show
Yeah.
you what it looks like. It's cool. It's
But
fun,
some
right?
people actually put that in their nose to do
Oh
brain
yeah.
red light
No.
therapy.
Okay, so now let's talk about that because since you brought it up. Now I want to bring it up. So this is what it looks. This is Kelly Bento's red light therapy torch.
Yep.
So here it is. This is what it looks like. You could put it in the ear, right? But you could also, I did hear Kelly say that you want to use it on setting two in the nose. This looks really fun, right?
Oh, so click it twice, as you're saying.
Click it
Yes.
twice,
So
and
that
this,
means it's not as strong or what?
yes, it's not
Okay.
as strong, and
Okay.
it's the brain. It's very good for your brain health.
Wow.
So 3 minutes a day on each nostril, go for it.
I'll have to try that. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I use it in my ears all the time. I use it in my nose a lot. I use it on my liver. I use it on my pancreas. I use it on my gut. I use this thing like everywhere. I'm like,
Bladder. Yeah.
I use it on my bladder. I've used it on my lady parts. I've used it literally everywhere that you can think of. I can't think of a spot. And anytime like I do have an ache or a pain, I'm like, oh, I'll just get the torch out. Or I'll sit in front of my panel too. Like that's another way to do it. But the cool thing about red light, I wanted to say, it's systemic. So what that means is if you don't get relief from your pain from it right away, it might have gone to heal something else. So it's systemic. So it's going to go to heal wherever the body needs. And I like to tell people that we don't really get to choose the order in which the body heals sometimes, and the body might prioritize something else, right? So maybe you're using red light therapy for your hair, right? Because that's another thing that it promotes hair growth, right? But maybe you have a lot of like internal organ things that need support. The body, since red light therapy is systemic, it's going to go and heal those kinds of things or support those things first
Yeah.
before it's going to focus on your hair. So it's like, even like with homeopathy, that would be the same thing, right? It's a systemic effect. So it's gonna go where your voltage is low. Just like if you put your feet in the earth and you ground, it goes where the voltage is low, you
I
know?
mean, it's also going to heal higher priority organs first before
Thank you.
ones that aren't as important for survival.
Right, right. So it's all about the body's smart and wise and wants to keep you healthy here, safe and alive. So it's going to prioritize the things that are more important. Your hair may
Absolutely.
not be the priority.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not. But
yeah.
so healing from the inside out, basically. But so we both
Yes.
love this torch,
Yes,
and
I love it.
I use it as well. I've used it on my dog, myself, and so forth.
Yes, using my dog too. Hmm.
Kelly has a new product out that's sort of like a little stand with a threefold part that you can literally fit in your tote bag or a big
Oh
purse.
my God.
And
How?
of course, I'm sure you are too. I'm like,
I'm like
Melissa,
drooling over it. I'm like, oh my God, I have to have that. Like,
yeah.
so want it. That is really a cool thing that she just came
And
out
she's
with.
working on this. It looks, I'm just going to call it a sleeping bag. It looks like something that's all in that you wrap yourself up in, basically, right? And that's what I think I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Vanessa. The research is saying that having the red light in, basically next to you, touching is the most efficacious. Of course, I'm pretty sure it's lower power, but what?
I was gonna say, so that's a really great thing, like how to use it, right? So
Mhm.
the torch, you can go ahead and put right against your skin, right? Kyle also just came out with a Midwest red light therapy, which is the one that I gave to the sent to the person with the groin issue.
Okay.
It's battery, these are battery operated. So this one is
Okay.
a chargeable, not battery operated, they're rechargeable. So
Recharge.
you can put them directly against your skin.
Because
So if you
there's
have,
no non-native EMFs.
thank you.
Really
Yes.
important, you guys.
Yes, that's the important thing. So if you're using a plug-in one, like I have a plug-in panel going right now, I'm not going to put that right against me. That's because of the non-native EMFs, basically. And I'm sure the power is different. I'm not really sure, but I would say that if you're buying a chargeable one, then it's more safe to put right against your body. So that's what yeah. And now I want the one that Kyle's selling as well because I've heard a lot of good reviews about that. It's a new one that he came out with. It's a small, like, chargeable red light therapy device that you can use.
Oh, I'll
Like
have to
one.
take a look at that. I haven't seen that one. Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Midwest. And
Okay.
yeah, so if it's a plug-in one, you want to sit like 10 inches away, they say, is like the best. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
you want to get one that has low EMF also as well,
Oh,
low
yeah.
flicker. That's
Low
really
flicker,
important.
low EMF.
Yeah,
Absolutely important.
we the ones that we have, that we'll list for you guys or in our free product guide or wherever it's in my free product guide, I know, or wherever we list for our discount codes, like we know that those are a good product.
Mhm.
So you can check those out. All
Yeah,
right.
and most of the folks we've had on our show, I think with the exception of Kyle, but we've had Kelly on, we've had Kyle on, and they're just amazing. And
Yes.
I know in particular, for example, that Kelly tests every single product individually for flicker and EMF. So super good quality control.
Yeah. That's
Um,
what Kyle was saying about he has that written down in his new, I think it's called the Prana, his new small red light therapy device that's chargeable. He said it's the lowest flicker and the lowest EMF one he's created.
nice.
So yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, that's on my next list. So anyways, so if you don't know the benefits of red light therapy, just to like review, it's good for pain relief, as we were saying. It reduces inflammation. It's good, for like injury, if you have an injury, or recovery. Like my husband when his back hurts, I gave it to my nephew because he had like something, he hurt something over here. I'm not good at anatomy. 20 Jewish. He had a shoulder injury, so he used it for that for a little while. It's good for reducing like wrinkles, collagen production, hair growth, um, vision, actually. That's why it's like almost counterproductive to use the goggles, but they will tell you to wear the goggles, but it actually supports your vision. So,
Not medical advice, you guys. You
not medical advice. Heather's like,
look
don't
that up
say
for
it, Vanessa.
yourselves. But just based on personal experience, I never wear goggles. So
Yeah, I never wear goggles either. And of course, it's supporting the mitochondrial health, and it also supports your blood sugar regulation and your metabolism. So there's been tons of studies showing that just a small amount of red light therapy device can actually regulate your blood sugar and your metabolism. So, and those are like, these are, I mean, there's like a gazillion studies on red light therapy,
Oh,
right?
it's
So
like novels.
just put it in PubMed and type in red light therapy, and you're gonna get like, I mean, oh my goodness, I think it was BioLight.
Yeah,
Carrie
they
was
have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they give it, but Carrie was giving something for free on her freebie, like thing that she sent out before Christmas. And it was like this research thing on red light. So I got it, I downloaded it. It was like over 100 pages. I'm like, I was going to print it. I was like, I guess I'm not printing this. But I mean, it was just like reading the pages and pages and pages
Is
of
it the
benefit.
actual studies in there or just the links or what is it format? How is
There
it
were
format?
links and studies. Yep, is both the
And
more of the links to the,
the links are
yeah,
hype.
it's like more like a summary and then a link that you could go and learn more about too.
The links are actually active. You can just click on it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I
So,
have to track that
yeah,
down.
so there's so many really amazing benefits of red light therapy. So, I mean, it's definitely cool to have as a toolkit. You know, again, I forgot to mention too, as you said before, but supporting that subcellular melatonin and the exclusion zone water is it's vital, you know. It's vital for our repair. So, it's definitely a great tool to have in your toolbox for aches, pains, things that come up, tummy aches, joint pain, whatever, or also just putting more infrared in your life, using it daily, and then also having it as a supplement for the winter when you just can't get as much red light.
I don't think we mentioned this yet, but I want to also say that some people find that they it's better for them not to use it too close to bed because it can
Oh, that's a
stimulate
good point.
energy. So you don't want it to make you more alert, if I honestly it puts me to sleep. So I don't think I have that problem where I'm like, woohoo, I'm bouncing off the walls. But just in case you want to test it or experiment with the time of day that you use it. And of course you don't my personal guideline is I don't use it at dark. I don't want to use it, and that's fine. I think if you do it if you really need it, but I just use it during the daylight hours. I don't know if it's that's really nitpicky or whatever, but because I'm thinking of it as being like emulating sun.
Mhm.
So, but just make sure if you're very sensitive to new, what do we want to call
Inputs.
this? Applications like photobiomodulation, which is red light therapy, that you don't do it too close to bed in case you get very stimulated by it.
Agreed. And I think that one reason why it can be too stimulating is because of the brightness, right? So it can be super, super bright, and then that's a much higher lux, right? And then that's gonna like make your body think it's like daytime because it's just because of not daytime, but like because it's not like blue light, but it's just like so bright, right? So that could be why also the brightness of it. So I agree. I only use red light therapy really during the day typically. I've heard people a lot of I know there's studies, specific studies saying that morning time is the best time. You know, in my ideal world, I would be outside grounded watching the sunrise. Then I'd go take a nice walk, come back, have a beautiful, breakfast, maybe take a UVA walk, and then sit and do some red light therapy outside, like a little extra red light therapy outside. That sounds like amazing, but, we all can't live like that. But will say, like, if I had an ache or a pain and I had the small torch, and I use that at night, I think that would be less disruptive because it's just like such a small spot of the body. And if you're like really trying to target, like I'm just saying, like say your kid had like an infection or ear pain and you use it, and I think that would be okay. Like if you're just trying to like help something out. But yeah, the if you're best to use it during the day if possible, I agree.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's talk about sauna.
Yeah, yeah. I like saunas. Again, I definitely don't ever feel like going in a sauna when it's warm out because I'm like laying out in the sun. I'm in the sauna. Like I'm in the natural sauna. I'm moving my body outside. I'm sweating. I'm super hot. I'm like definitely not going to go in my sauna. But in the wintertime, I love it because I don't sweat as much and I don't get that warmth and it's cozy and I love it. And I have a nice sunlight and sauna and I do really like it. But yeah, sauna therapy is the use of high heat to elevate the core body temperature for the purpose of improving health, right? So, there are dry saunas, there are near infrared, there are far saunas, there are ones that have all. I like ones that have near infrared because that's going to support, subcellular melatonin production and cellular energy. the one that I have, the sunlighten, has the far, the near, and the mid. The far is the one that expands the exclusion zone water, so it's nice to have all three if
Well,
we can.
but the near infrared is the one that penetrates more deeply, right?
Yes, and it also is the one that is the one that supports the subcellular melatonin, which I think is really, really important.
And then the far does what? Just go over that again for everyone.
Expands the exclusion zone water.
Okay.
So it's nice to have a sauna that has all of those if you can.
Okay.
Even like when my sauna has like settings, so there's like a relaxation setting, which man, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's psychosomatic, but I sit in the one that says I put on the relaxation program. I'm like, I feel so relaxed in here right now. So I really like that. And it has all three. So I always try to pick the settings that have all three. Because not some of them don't. Some of them don't have, they take out the near or they take out the far or the mid for some reason. And it's just a mix of the two, one of the two frequencies. And I wonder why that is, but I'm like, I always pick a setting that has all three in my sauna because it has like these different programs. But also important to pick a sauna that is low non-native EMF as well.
Yes,
Because some of
absolutely.
them can be really high. So that's another really big deal. So
Well, and I guess we'll talk about it later, but I just want to make sure we mention about how to start with sauna. No, we don't, I don't see it in our notes, but I would say that if you have poor mitochondrial slash metabolic function, you want to really start slowly
oh yeah.
because you can overdo it really quickly and overwhelm your system with the heat,
Mhm.
right? So you want to start maybe lower temps, not staying as long. You just want to break a sweat. You don't need to be in there sweating buckets. If you're new to sauna therapy, and you will tell because you'll start to feel a little distressed if you're overdoing it and you need to then start more slowly and work up to it. Same as with cold thermogenesis, because it's counterproductive at that point. You want to be able to feel like you can still breathe and you're still relaxed and you're just in there for the it's it's detoxing, but it also is doing all the things like Vanessa's talking about with helping your mitochondrial function. But the
Yeah.
sweating to open up your detox pathways is really important because sometimes in the winter we're not sweating as much in this as in the summer. So it's
Yeah.
really nice to help with that detox.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. And definitely go slow. I remember when I got my son, I was like, oh, more is better. And then more was not better. So because it can be depleting. With bleeding of your minerals, you're over sweating, you're over detoxing, you're like just push and you're pushing, pushing, pushing. We have to have an allowance, we have to give a time and space for the body to integrate, allow, and to do what it needs to do in between. We can't just keep pushing the body to the brink of the point where it's just too much, right? So you have to find that balance. So yes, definitely go slow with it in the beginning, work your way up. I honestly though don't recommend sauna more than one time a week. You know what I mean? Like I don't really think it's necessary to do that more, maybe twice if you're really like that would be like the max, I would say. So I don't know. Maybe I've heard some people say you can do it every day. Maybe you can. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. And another good tip is to, of course, support your body with minerals. Also, the Takasumi binder can be really nice if you want to try a binder with it after sauna to bind up any toxins that may have been excreted. And to support the lymphatic system, to use a dry brush before the sauna is a great idea. So this way you are like moving things, getting things moving before jumping in the sauna. So that's another really good tip. I always do that. I'm working on my craft of supporting that and getting my lymph flowed and using the dry brush, but you can like look up definitely different videos on how to do that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So sauna is to distinguish it from a fever because we think, oh, sauna is like, helping our bodies to do things. Yes, it is, but it's not, it doesn't have the same depth of impact because it's externally stimulated and it's not an endogenous process, right? You're just artificially heating yourself up. A fever, in contradistinction, is your body's heating itself, which is activating all these other pathways, and it's a deeper form of right healing.
I saw this reel and then I had to make a reel myself about this, about how um sauna is the ultimate healing because it's generating like the same thing as a fever response. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like that is so incorrect. Like, okay, it's great for detox and it supports a lot of things in our body. but it is not the same as a fever. That's not even close because it's your immune system has to be really robust to get a fever. And then your immune system is eliciting that response. And because it generated it itself, like you said, it's going to do so much more healing than a sauna could ever do. It's not even close to the same. It's very, very, very different. It's gonna be supportive, but it's just not the same as your body getting a fever. And people with chronic disease, we've said this many times on the podcast before, they don't get fevers because their immune system is so suppressed and so weak that they can't generate fevers, and that's I mean, I've said this many times before. It's one of my histories. I mean, I had infections as a kid that I had chronic bladder infections without fever. They didn't even know I had them because I just had urgency and frequency, and then I'd go and I'd have a bladder infection, and they would never know because I didn't have any fever. Normally, with an infection, you would get a fever, but my
Mm.
body didn't do that.
Right, right, right.
Elicit that response. My immune system was too weak to compromise even then. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to really heal from chronic disease, sauna can be supportive, but you really want to help your body learn how to generate a fever again, because that shows that your immune system is actually getting stronger and more robust, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't suppress those fevers. If you can, if you get a fever, don't suppress it. Just allow that healing to happen because literally your body is producing so much infrared light that's never going to be the same as I don't care how many red light therapy sessions you do or how many sauna sessions you do, that fever will never be the same as that fever response. I mean, the sauna session will never be the same as the fever response. So yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can get in touch with us for homeopathy and we can help you get your fever back on and support you. I mean, I've had many clients who have gotten fevers, so it's really, really good.
That's
So
a celebration right there.
it's huge celebration. Yes.
So, okay, so we're talking about red light therapy and sauna, and then the one caveat is we don't want to actually use them simultaneously, right? We
Yeah,
don't want to
good
use them
point.
at the exact same time. But are you saying also that you recommend not doing them in the same day at different times, Vanessa?
Oh
What do
no, I
you?
think you could do them in the same day. You
Okay,
could do them
just
in the
not
same day.
at the exact same time. It's overdosing, right?
Yeah, and I think they do different things and then they might cancel each other out,
Mhm,
So I think it's better to do them separately,
mhm.
and I think you could do it in the same day, absolutely. And timing with sauna, I mean, this is everybody's different, but I don't like to do sauna later at night. I like to do it more during the day. So for me, morning time, it feels better. I guess you can play around with that and what feels good for you. A warm shower feels very nice before bed. Sitting in front of a fire feels nice before bed, but sauna just feels like I don't like it before bed. I don't like it. I don't know why that is. I guess everybody's different and everybody's gonna do what feels good for them, but I would play around with that and see what works for you.
But what
Um,
about those who have to get up and go to work early? Is it going to be okay? And again, not medical advice, but to do it when it's before it's light out. I would tend to say that it's probably fine. What do you think?
to do it before it's light out,
Yeah,
I
if
would
they
say
have to get up and go to
it's
work.
perfect. I would say it's perfectly fine. I would say that too, as long as you're not, putting on tons of artificial light in the room. Yeah.
Right. You know what I did actually change in mine, the light bulb out for a red one.
Oh, perfect. So mine has the sunlight comes with like these what do you call that when the light that lets a light therapy? There's all these different color lights. So it has like violet or blue or white or
It's some
green or
kind of LED that has multiple
yeah, so I'm like, I
settings.
don't know. I'm feeling suspicious of that. So I never use it. So I just keep the light off. And you know what I bring in? I don't have it over here, but my little red light from Block Blue Light, my little like flashlight red light, I bring that in a book and it's dark in there when I sit in there. So to me,
Nice.
if I went in my sauna before sunrise, yeah, that'd be fine because it's literally a dark environment. Like I don't make it bright. But I think if it's really bright in there, that might not be great before sunrise.
No, no.
That would be my only caveat there. And don't wear like another important tip about sauna is don't wear like a bathing suit or like those kinds of clothing in there. I mean, obviously naked would be best, but don't wear things like that. I mean, people might be at a sauna at a place, right?
Right,
So,
right, right, right.
you
Well, then
know,
you can why? Because it restricts the blood flow, the sweating or what?
no, you're just gonna like
Detox.
leach like the nasty toxins into your body because of the heat. like that are in like a like crappy like synthetic bathing suit with like polyester
Oh,
like
oh,
you know
I
thing.
see what you're saying. Well, then you can
Yeah,
wrap yourself in a cotton towel if you're in a public sauna. Yeah.
that was my well, was going to be my suggestion
Yeah,
because I'm like I think that's really not good to do that. So
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
didn't even think of that. You're right. You're right.
yeah, and you're heating it up and they'll like literally absorbing that. I feel like in your body. I mean, yeah, I would avoid that if you can. So
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I want to mention I have two. I started out with the ones that look like a pumpkin and the Durasage, so we'll link that because I have an affiliate for that, a discount code. They work totally fine. They're the
Mm.
ones that you zip yourself up in and your head
Oh
sticks out
yeah.
of the top,
Hmm.
right? That's perfectly fine. And then I inherited a bigger one from family, so of course that's really nice because I can lie down in there. So they both work. They're both, they're both good. It's whatever is convenient for you, what's in your budget, you know what I mean? So I think any decent sauna is better than no sauna. So,
Hmm. 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 Yeah, I think so too. I think that the most important thing about the sauna is it low non-native EMF.
yeah,
That's the most important thing. But yeah, I mean, sauna can be a really great tool to use. Red light therapy can be a really great tool. Again, these are tools I use more in winter time, but some of the benefits are just improved detoxification, stress relief, weight loss, improved metabolism, immune support, muscle recovery. It's super, super great for cardiovascular health. That must be from the expansion of the exclusion zone water. Improves mitochondrial health, pain relief, autoimmune support, and again, that subcellular melatonin and the easy water expansion. So, I mean, it's just so many benefits to the body. So, I don't know. I think if you can afford it to have one, there are places in the world like in what is that, like Norway and Sweden and Finland, like where everybody uses the sauna, right? They say it like that, like they use it every day. Like it's like normal, like every household has it and
oh,
they
I
use
love
it
that.
every day. That would be
Well,
so,
with that kind of weather and climate, I mean, you
yeah,
kind
they
of
need
need
it. They
that.
probably
Yeah,
need it.
you
Yeah.
do need
But
it.
but
Absolutely.
like that it's like their innate like wisdom there that's
Yeah.
probably been passed down that this is something that because of their where they live that they do need it, right? So it's kind of cool, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you're gonna get one, you're welcome to take a look at our products that we recommend. I like Midwest Red Light Therapy panels. I've been recommending his, like I said, the one that's the battery operated one or the plug-in one, charging one. I've recommended that one a lot and heard good things. I personally have an EMR Tech red light panel so that I use. I love Kelly Bento's products, the Sole Well. I have a sunlight and sauna. I just signed up and you're able to get a link for $200 off for anybody who wants to buy that. So
Great.
you can check out that. But yeah, those are the ones that I recommend. And then I don't know. I know we had
Pew.
Sarah on our
No, Sarah
podcast, Sarah Turner on our
Turner.
podcast
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
a while ago. But she has I have not tried it and I don't know a client who's tried it, so I can't be like, yes, go get that one. Because I know it's really great, but I would trust in what she's recommending. She has the gut brain red light therapy device, so that's something that you could check out. I don't know if our code still works there, but it was Quantum Connection that she had given us. So,
Hmm.
that's something to check out as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm pretty much right down the line with you, except I have a different. I think my sauna that I inherited is the Health Mate. Pretty sure that's still a good one as far as non-native EMFs go. But yeah, either of those will be very, very helpful. And then
Yeah.
the one that Vanessa just mentioned is it's like, did you say this already? It's the one you wear over your head,
Yeah,
right?
it's a head, it's on the head and the gut. It goes. So it
Oh,
puts
that's
red
right. It's a dual. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dual. So that was pretty cool. Like, so it goes along the head and it goes along the belly. So I'm like, oh, I mean, like I said, I recommended it, but I don't know anybody who's actually bought it and used it and like know how it went. Like, I can't say that. I know I've recommended Kelly's Torch or, Kyle's devices, and that has gone well. And I've used those, and I know I've used the EMR Tech one, so I have personal experience with that. I don't have personal experience with that device. However, we interviewed Sarah, and I think she's really great, and I think she's making a good quality product, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
Oh,
So,
I agree. And it's called Sarah Thrive. I just remembered CERA Thrive. And
yep.
let's not forget our furred friends. So
Oh
Equisol
yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I
has
remember that.
products, and Jackie Jolie, we've had her on the podcast recently. I'd say it's maybe 12 episodes ago or so. I don't remember exactly, but recently. And she makes these cool jackets for dogs, cats, and then even bigger things for horses. So really, really highly recommend those for your pets because guess what? They need to be outside too and getting more natural frequencies, and they're cut off indoors. Not only that, but unfortunately, a lot of them exposed to non-native EMFs. Let's not even get into the help what kind of food they eat. So they need all the help they can get. So if you have a dog or another animal that's struggling with any health issues, I would highly recommend you check out Equisol, EQUISOL.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Some of the stories have been amazing that she's been healing the animals with these beautiful red light, like kind of like it's like a coat they wear, like a blanket that they wear. It's like really, really cool. So yeah, that's an amazing one. I almost forgot about that one. So yeah, more info too. I also have a course, well, and a webinar that I have. It's a 3-hour webinar called the Thrive in Winter webinar, and two tips that I talk about on how to thrive in winter are red light therapy and sauna. So I give more information there if you want to learn more. And again, if you haven't had a fever in years, you might want to consider homeopathy to strengthen your immune system so you connect with us for those things. So we hope you enjoyed this episode and it was a lot of fun and you get some benefit from it. And yeah,
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next week.